Hi guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers, and I'm here with Lucia. And those of you who have followed Justin and Michael, you guys know Lucia probably pretty well.
Hi guys, it's always me.
yeah, she's been all over their channel and everything else. And we've worked together for a couple of years now, and I've been really impressed with Lucia because she's diligent, nothing falls through the cracks, and she's very, very knowledgeable, and she makes a point of finding out the things that she doesn't know, which, you know, for me is the best thing ever, because not everybody knows everything, but if you know where to find out and then you go find out, that is a valuable person. So I've been talking with Lucia about, you know, some of the issues. You've seen the issues about
yes,
people
of course.
communicating.
Like I've been in touch with several clients that obviously come over because they have the aim to for their Italian dream house.
Mm-hmm.
So usually what I've noticed in their storytellings is that they have encountered some problems of a lack of communication often with, for example, they relate, obviously they find properties on platforms and they forwarded me properties like, could I see this, could I see that? Actually, you always need to explain to foreigners that the system in Italy is not the same actually as in America, because here every real estate agent has exclusive assignments. So when it comes to communicating with the real estate agencies, that is where I want to make available my knowledge, because what I'm doing is an interpreter translator, and usually people have problems in agencies responding to their messages, or sometimes they say, oh, you know, they don't respond, I can't get it, I wrote to them several times. I think this usually is a lack of knowing how to speak the language. So what happens is not that I think they don't want to respond, it's only that they are incapable of dealing in English language. So that is what happens. And that's where I could help out people getting in touch, going through the process, answering all their questions, making sure that the communication between both of them is clear. Whatever they need to know, explaining all the things between each other. And that usually happens like from the moment they choose a house. So I make myself available to assist people in the best way of how they would like to know things going on. So translating and giving them the good understanding of the whole process. Usually when foreigners buy here a house, they need to go through the whole process from the beginning to the end. And at the notary deed, foreign people that don't understand the Italian language, they need a power of attorney to sign the notary deed, because in Italy, if you don't understand the language, you need someone that represents you.
Yes.
And this is what I have done for several clients. So I translate the documents, I give them the good understanding, I can translate also everything between the geometra, the notaio, starting from the preliminare, which is the first agreement where you sign for the deposit on the house, until you don't get to the end, which is the notary deed, where is the ending signing. What happens, people aren't always in Italy. So what is possible is to make also a remote sale. Because the power of attorney can be done also remotely. These are like, it's a statement where the people design me to sign on their behalf. And this can be done like remotely. Obviously, it takes a bit of time. If they're here, they can sign in front of the notary. If they're not here, it can be done remotely. So from all the explanation of the house, all the things they need to know, all the documentation that comes available from the real estate agencies can be clearly explained to them. The most important thing always is the plan floors.
The pianometria, which is the floor plans for the house. That we've gone over, and if you've read my book, which you really should read, you'll know how important it is to understand the floor plans and to make sure that when you're in the notaio's office, the floor plans put in front of you match exactly what you saw when you walked through the house. And Lucia understands that. I've seen a lot of people, and I've and unfortunately seen people burned by this, where, for example, they say, "Oh yes, the terrace comes with it. You know, the terrace comes with the property," and the person doesn't know the importance of the floor plans. They show up at the notario, they sign without looking at them, without really realizing that the terrace is not included in those floor plans. Those floor plans say what you now own. So Lucia understands the importance of that. And what I like about Lucia's options is many times when you hire an interpreter, you're hiring for one thing, right? You hire him for the act, or you hire him or her for the compromesso, which is the preliminare,
Yes.
or something like that. But you don't always see, because nobody's translating the whole way and clarifying the communication, and you don't always see how that fits in with the act, the deed signing, and you don't know how that fits in with the geometry and everything else. And if you have somebody translating with you from beginning to end, it all becomes clear. And she's very knowledgeable about things, well, like the floor plans. There's a lot of people that don't know about that. Many agents don't really put, in my opinion, the correct importance on that particular part of it. It's vitally important. So I think that this is kind of a new way of translating, a new way of being a communicator for on your behalf and with the agents, which I'm sure they appreciate it too, because they have a point person, they know they speak Italian, has an Italian phone number. If you don't
That is
have
what
an
I
Italian
wanted to
phone
say,
number.
because this wouldn't benefit only the clients, which feel safe because they have, as I said, a person that explains everything in their language. But it benefits also agencies, it benefits notaries, it benefits all professionals that are working, because things become more fluent, more clear, more easy.
Right.
Exactly. So that is what actually I'm doing, and what I want to do, which is giving the knowledge that I have through my experience and handing it over to all the people that are in need, and make them happy, and how can I say, where they have a person they can trust, because everything is explained. Things are very different from country to country. So people, they have in their mind how it works in their country, but things often change. And this doesn't mean that it's difficult. You just need somebody that is aware and explains you, this is good. In Italy, this goes like this way, that goes that way, this is what you can do, this is what is different, you know, and this is what I aim to do. Actually, from the moment they identify the property, so they could have found it on links, because often I had people sending me over, as I said, all the links, because I would like to see this house or that house. So from the moment they decide, look, this is the house that I want, that's where I step in. If they are happy to have someone that guides them through everything they need, this is what I'm doing now. And it doesn't only include the first step until the signing of the notary deed. People have asked me so many things. They wanted help in all the things that come after the purchase, like helping them with residency, because you need to go to the comune or certain things, and they can't communicate, so that's where I assist them. They ask me, for example, how can I connect my utilities? So that's where I can help them with, like accompany them to the comune, like being their translator and explaining what the officers need, what all documentation you need to attach to the forms, to the requests and whatever. Another thing is, after they purchase the house, the second step comes. Like, a lot of people like to renovate. They love renovating.
They do.
Different from Italians. Italians like modern houses, and I have encountered that the taste of foreign people is usually how the history of Italy, Calabria is, the taste of antique stuff, houses in the historic center. And Italians, really, the locals, they're not interested in this. They like modern kitchens, everything different. So you find really that they are in search of how the life has been here, all the history, and they like antique furniture to restore and deco paint. So it's really, really nice thing to see how they in love of the Italian culture.
Yeah.
And yes, so it comes to how can I get my air conditioning in,
Yeah.
or how can I get Wi-Fi?
Yes,
That is
all of
something
that.
very important, because if we think when we buy a house, our first comfort is Wi-Fi, TV with satellite that
Yeah.
gets all the channels. Then they want the air conditioning that is basic.
Yes.
All the basic things that you need to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Like an Italian SIM card. Will I need an Italian SIM card? Or what can I do if I want to open a bank account?
Right.
There are
right.
a lot of things to think about. So whatever a person is need, they can question me and I can help them.
Yeah.
So this is what I am offering. And there are actually a lot of people that are in need. So I found this much more interesting than being a real estate agent, because it's limited to what it is,
Yeah.
you know. And I've had a lot of requests. You know, I have been working for a real estate agency. I had my own years ago in Tuscany. I have my license, but I prefer to not be a real estate agency, because you can't spend your time offering all this help that I saw that is actually something that is missing here. It
yeah.
takes time, it takes effort. Like when you go to the offices here, it's not so easy.
Right.
Sometimes you go once, and you need to go twice, and you need to go 3 times.
Yes.
Because
that's
it's
true.
small towns.
Yeah.
So in the comune, for example, you have people that instead of being a lot of people
Yeah.
taking care of a lot of areas of the thing, it's only one.
That's right.
So
That's right.
also for citizenship, for example, I know that the municipalities here, the comune, they really file 1 request per month. So
Ooh.
it becomes so long.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of foreigners are shocked when they ask for citizenship, for example, because they say, oh, it takes so long, starting from the procedure in America, for example, when they try to get the first appointment at the consulate.
Yeah.
And then all the rest takes a lot of time because there are long waiting lists.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to get a residence is not difficult.
Right.
You
Yeah.
Once you bought your house independently, like if you buy as a first home, then you need to get your residency within 18 months.
Yes.
But even if you have a second home, you can have residency. And it's not difficult to have. It
Yeah.
takes only requesting residency at the comune, and then in 45 days, they check if you are actually here, and you can get it.
Yeah, but that's after a caveat. After you get your elective residence visa at your home consulate in the United States. So you have to get the elective residence visa first.
It's approved.
Yeah, and approved. And then you can go to the comune and get your permesso di soggiorno, and that's something that Lucia can help you with. You know, you hear about the bureaucracy in Italy. Frankly, I've seen bureaucracy in the United States too. So it's not specific to Italy, but it is a thing. And you
Yeah.
do need somebody who knows how to get around it, knows the right people. And Lucia does know the right people. She is very good about networking and finding the right people to work with that get the job done and doesn't take forever and that kind of thing too. So
We try to do our best.
I know.
In an environment, we're always in small towns are always much slower. So whatever is possible to do, you try to do it. And obviously, you must keep in mind, like for example, in summer, when the same services are requested, like assistance or whatever.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's crazy here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have a super crowded area, and it's very difficult to get through the normal things that you could do much easier in winter.
Yes, don't
That
come in
is another
August.
thing.
Don't come in August. I had a client who came in August and she said, I wanted to see it at its worst. And I said, well, that's about as bad as it gets. It's just very crowded. We're a tourist area and we're inundated with tourists. So June, July, August, stay away. Come in September, October, and the rest of the year. And you can
August
get
is the
things
worst
done.
also because a lot of offices, they take like
Oh, yeah.
holidays on turns.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say, okay, you come back maybe on the 8th of September. Okay.
And you're not here. Oh, another thing is if you come over and you want to buy a house, right? And you sign the preliminary, the compromesso, and the act is set, but the act is set and you can't get away, or the act is set and you have to come all the way over again. You can, Lucia talked about the power of attorney. It's a special power of attorney. It's not handing over your life to her. It's just for that specific property.
Exactly.
You go down to the notaio, you do a very quick little cycle down there. It costs you, I think, $150 to do your power of attorney documents. Then she is entitled to act for you. And it's different than just a normal power of attorney. I know people have gotten their neighbor to do it, and that's fine. But Lucia, with her background, is a much better option as a power of attorney, in my opinion, because she knows what to look for. She knows about the floor plan. She knows about the act. She knows what all the articles in the act mean and can explain them to you. And she is authorized to act for you as she sees the best fit, which I love. And in order to have somebody do that, I mean, she can walk into an act, and if the act is not what she thinks or the floor plans don't reflect, she can go, no, we're not doing it. You guys fix that, and we're going to come back. And she's totally within her rights and your rights to do that. So I love that idea of getting her out of the power of attorney. Even if you're going to be here, it might be a good idea to get that, because you've got somebody acting on your behalf who knows all about that kind of stuff and can be your power of attorney. And there's no special authorizations or anything or licenses to be a power of attorney here. You can get anyone to do it, but it makes sense to get somebody who knows.
Yes,
to do
anyone
it for
that
you.
speaks the Italian language, but usually, it's based like on translation. Like, I don't want to let people understand that it's only translating papers.
Right, right.
Because anybody can translate. It's the understanding.
Yes.
And transferring the good information to
Yeah.
people.
That's so important. And you know, there's some very important articles in these acts. Like, you're signing, number one, that the floor plans are correct, and you better make sure they are. Number two, you're signing that you know and understand all the fraud statutes and all of that kind of thing, and you know and understand all various different laws and things like that. It's vitally important that you get a translator that goes over all of it, and not only goes, this says this and this and this and this, but what is it really saying? You know, many times they refer to certain laws with numbers and letters and things like that, and she can go, well, that the law having to do with money laundering, or the law having to do with false statements in an act and things like that, and she can tell you the import of that. And it's funny because you think it's a no-brainer, right? But there are many people who have been talked into things that were not in their best interest. For example, somebody saying, well, we're going to put 60,000 euros in the act, and then you pay me 30,000 under the table. That's fraud, and it's very severely penalized here. In addition, you can mess yourself up if you go to sell the property with capital gains taxes and things like that. She can go over all of that stuff with you. I don't want to get into the weeds with all the details, but
Yes, especially the taxes. It's different depending on a lot of things, depending on the property, depending if there is land, depending on how where the property is based. So all of these things get very well explained from the notary, and every case is different. So all the taxes, first house, second house, land, whatever, gets worked out from the notary, because taxes here in Italy get paid to the notary. So in the fees that you pay to the notary, there is obviously the notary's fee plus all the taxes,
Right.
because who pays taxes is the notary for you.
Yeah.
And this gets done all at the notary deed. So explaining how these taxes get worked out.
that's so important.
Everything cadastral value or not. All
Exactly.
these things. So it
That's-
will be translating everything the notary says, giving them a good explaining on how it works, and acting for them just for a good understanding, as I said. And it's very helpful,
Yeah.
helpful. It makes people feel more secure, and you feel happier when you know how things work.
Yeah, you brought up a very good point, because there are different taxes for different categories of properties. For example, agricultural land is taxed at a different rate. Your transfer tax is going to be different. Luxury properties, and the only way you know a luxury property is in the cadastral recording. It will be recorded under a certain letter and a number.
Exactly the categories.
Exactly. And the last thing you want is to find that out at the notary after you've already signed the compromesso and put down your deposit, that your tax on that property is 22%. Now, we don't have a lot of that here in Calabria, but it's something you need to know, and you need to ask for that particular category of your property before you sign the compromesso. You need to know exactly what category it is, and you need to know all the tax implications, and that's something that Lucia knows a lot about. She can help you with.
Yes, having professionals behind me, everybody explains their part
Yeah.
of what they're responsible for, and I hand it over to you in English. That is what I do.
Exactly. And she's got some really good notaries behind her. You know, whenever I work with her, and we work a lot together, and I go, oh, I need some information on this. Okay, let me check with my friend the notary. And he goes and checks. And everything that she does, he kind of goes along with her to make sure that she's well advised and that she has somebody watching her back so that she's staying within the bounds of the law always, and always making sure that the information is correct. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Thank you for explaining it so well.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, this is mainly explaining what I do, explaining what people can have in hand easily and feel safe. So if anybody is willing to be taken care of, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good. Well, thank you, Lucia. You've
Thank
been
you so
such a
much.
great help for everything that we've done.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.